Good morning, everyone. I wanted to start off by thanking everyone for being here for our 8 a.m. presentation. Unfortunately, our faculty advisor was unable to make it, but we will be sending him a recording of our presentation so that we can receive feedback from him. We are Forge Cinema, a VFX production company, and for those who don't know, visual effects is the process by which imagery is created or manipulated outside the content of live action shot in filmmaking. So I'd like to introduce our team to begin with.
Hello, I'm Garrett Kerr. I'll be the project manager for Forge Cinemas, as well as the VFX artist to help out with some of the shots.
My name is Tyler Brown. I will be a VFX artist and compositor for the videos that we are creating.
Hi, my name is Scott Yarling. I'm a VFX artist, and I have been working on web presence and design for Forge Cinemas.
I am Bailey Supernut, and I'm the public marketing head as well as VFX, but mainly a compositor.
So what we'd like to talk about to begin with is problems that visual effects students tend to have here while on campus. So complex visual effects are difficult to conceptualize to new technicians who are introduced to the field, discouraging newcomers from branching out from basic ideas. While there are some good tutorials out there, most Houdini tutorials are either outdated or costly. Of course, there's an option to buy tutorials from professional VFX artists, but the cost can deter new students from following their interest. Because new updates come out for software every year, videos are more than a year old can easily include faulty information. There can be new features added that make old techniques redundant, or some features from older versions may just get replaced. Either way, upcoming VFX artists need the best, most current information to ensure that they have a proper fundamentals. So our project scope, the main project scope is that our project is to create 3 visual effects videos that also have tutorials that go along with them to describe how we went about making our effects for each shot. We'll be explaining our process and the way we used or how we reached the final results of the video that we created.
As a new production company, it's essential that we are using industry-leading software to produce and construct our videos and tutorials. New programs and software are released all the time, so it's important that we create our videos with the latest industry-leading programs, not only create the best work that we can, but also to provide our audience with tutorials of the same industry-leading software so they can learn how to use the same programs production houses are using. When it comes to the current industry pipeline, most production houses look like this: concept, design, pre-production, and post-production. We plan to follow the industry pipeline pretty closely, but in a more fleshed out approach that we'll lay out later in our presentation. Houdini is the industry standard software for creating visual effects. Unfortunately, its interface is rather complex and can be extremely difficult to learn for people who are inexperienced with the program or node-based editing software in general. However, because of its reputation in the industry as the best tool for creating stunning visual effects, it is imperative that novice VFX artists learn how to use it. We plan to use Houdini, Adobe After Effects, and Fusion for the majority of the effects we plan to create for our production, along with Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve for post-production compositing work. When we create our tutorial walkthroughs for these programs, we plan to make them straight to the point and moderately easy to understand and follow along with, as we do having at least some minor experience with some kind of prior effects work or experience.
Our stakeholders are actually broken up into 3 separate groups for clarity's sake. You 3 make up the first group. As our project sponsors, you will be acting as Forge Cinema's clients. Because we are a VFX production company, we hope to work closely specifically with Carlos this coming semester, given his VFX background. Our faculty advisor and mentor is Doug Osmond. He's a professor in the mass comm department and has been involved in the television and film industry for 15 plus years. He'll be helping us brainstorm our concepts and provide guidance along the way of our productions. We'll be holding bi-weekly in-person meetings with him as well to make sure all of our content is held to the highest standard, especially our tutorial videos, which Professor Osmond will help guide us to make the most captivating and informing videos we possibly can, to reach as wide as an audience as we can. Professor Osmond will also give us access to copious amounts of professional and industry-grade cameras and audio equipment that he has available for us to use to make our product that much more professional. Lastly, VFX students will become an integral part of our development plan, as each of our videos will be targeting them directly. We aim to have them involved with more than just the finished product. We want them to be closely tied to our process. Because of the nature of VFX, our prototype comes in the form of a pipeline rather than a physical prototype. We aim to use this process for each of our videos we develop for a total of 3 times. So step 1 is research and development. Research and development is closely tied to a VFX production, and we know that these should be done together, so we've decided to implement this as the first step in our production pipeline. Step 2 is establishing an industry pipeline guideline. During step 2, we will develop the individual workflows of pipeline for the desired effect that we seek to teach. We aim for this effect to be inspirational and complex to VFX students. Step 3 is the creation of visual effects video, the actual video itself. It's important us to work together to create an actual effect using the tools we gathered during steps 1 and 2. Step 4 is the creation of visual effects breakdown. After we develop the effect, the next step is to develop the tutorial for our students. Our mentor will become specifically helpful when developing these teaching skills. Step 5 is distributing the visual effects breakdown to interested students. The next step is to deliver the video to introductory level VFX students, and we aim to do this via flyer or mostly and primarily by reaching out to Purdue University faculty in the Polytechnic School. The last step, step 6, is to issue a student survey to each of the VFX students who have completed the tutorial. We hope to analyze the feedback from these students. It's important for us to revise and strengthen each subsequent tutorial that we create.
Because we plan to create 3 separate videos and tutorial walkthroughs to accompany them, we've broken next semester down into monthly segments. On this slide, we have the in-depth breakdown of what each month will include. Week 1, come up with the video idea, acquire the equipment that we'll need, such as cameras, mics, and lights, create scripts and storyboards, research and plan VFX shots, and select our locations for shooting. Week 2 will be filming and acquiring our footage. Week 3 will consist of editing that footage, creating effects, and uploading the video. Week 4 is creating the tutorial walkthrough video and sending it out to be surveyed. On the next slide, we'll get slightly more in depth with this as we see our Gantt chart. And here you can see the Gantt chart for what we have planned next semester. At the start of the semester, we have a week set aside to develop our workflow pipeline. Following that, we have a month to create each of our videos and the accompanying tutorials. From month to month, our process will be rather similar. The overall arch of it is that the first week is pre-production, and you can see that we have the first week broken down with only a day or 2 for each part. So like we have meetings with our advisor for 1 day, brainstorming concepts and storyboard on that day and the next, researching VFX techniques for a couple days so that we're sure that we can actually implement it into the video, and acquire the equipment and plan the shooting location so that we'll be all set for the next following week. After that, week 2 is production. It'll vary from video to video for when we need to film, so it isn't narrowed down to a precise day, but we know that we'll be getting all of our filming done within the 2nd week of the monthly process. Week 3 will be post-production, the editing and effects that I mentioned on the last slide, and week 4 will be creating the tutorial walkthrough, sending it out to students to be surveyed, and getting feedback on it from them. Our main objective for this project is to create educational content for new VFX students, and our deliverables will help us achieve that goal. We will deliver the effects videos and the tutorials, receive feedback from the students, and deliver the revised videos to meet the needs of the students. Based on their feedback, we will be able to tell how good the videos are and what we will need to improve to make them ready for final delivery. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we'll now open up the floor for questions.